Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. On this day in 2003, a 20-year-old Miguel Cabrera made his big league debut, and he arrived with a bang. Today, Cabrera has morphed into perhaps the best hitter in all of baseball. And tonight, Miggy and the Tigers take on the New York Yankees. We welcome you to Yankee Stadium, Game 2 in this series. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. Game 1 did not go the way we expected it to go. However, the Tigers, Rod, did find out just how tough it is to win in this ballpark.
You know, I thought the Tigers had a very difficult time of beating the Angels out west in Los Angeles. But this place here, the last number of years, has not been a very friendly place to the Tigers.
Well, maybe Alfredo Simon tonight can get that turned around, because really in the month of June, he's been as good as the Tigers have had and really as consistent as they've had.
Well, it's a great trade by Dave Dombrowski. They consummated the trade. It was at the winter meetings in San Diego last year. And Simon has done everything that he did last year wearing a Cincinnati Reds uniform. You have to love Simon, and when he gets those fastballs crisscrossing in the strike zone. That's the cutter inside to the left-handers. He also fades it away from the left-handed batters as well. Jeff Jones told me today that two-seam fastball is his best pitch by far, but we also know that he uses that split finger quite a bit. Last couple of starts, he has been tremendous in the strike zone. He has missed a whole lot of bats. He needs to make sure he crowds the right-handers inside here at Yankee Stadium, because that porch in right field, it's awfully short.
All right, now Simon has been really good, but so have the Yankees here in their home ballpark. They're as hot as any team at home right now, and so it's going to be a pretty good challenge tonight.
You know, the Yankees have always held home court advantage very well. In their last 11 games, they've only lost one here. They're averaging over 6 runs per game. You know, the batting average is going to be up, and they're playing with a tremendous amount of confidence. And then you add in the fact that the back end of that bullpen from the 7th inning on, even though Andrew Miller is not here right now, Dylan Betances is outstanding at the back end. They've got a loud power arms. That's why they play so comfortable here at home, and that's why they win so many games.
All right, Game 2 in the series coming up in just a few minutes. So when we come back, we'll talk about the anniversary of Biggie's debut. Trevor Thompson will join us with some thoughts on that. Tigers-Yanks coming up from the Bronx. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. By Dodge, come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover event. And by Country Fresh Milk. Get real. Back here at Yankee Stadium, where Miguel Cabrera is preparing for Game 2 in the series against the Yanks. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen back here at the ballpark. And boy, I tell you what, it was this day, 2003. It was a skinny Miguel Cabrera. He was just 20 years old. It's amazing that all these years have gone by, but he's developed into a dynamite player.
He was skinny, but he was still banging. That much is for sure. You know, I've talked to Al Avila, the assistant general manager of the Tigers, on many, many occasions about Miguel. Of course, he was the one that was able to sign Miggy. He said they knew he was going to be an all-star every single year. That's how good they thought he was at age 16, but they had no idea that he would make it to the Hall of Fame, and that's exactly where Miggy's headed when he shuts it down.
All right, let's bring in Trevor Thompson now. Trevor, you had an opportunity to talk to Miggy, and he gave you some insights about that first game that he played in the big league.
Yeah, and he didn't reflect on the walk-off homer that he hit in that first game. He didn't reflect on any of the MVPs or the batting titles that he's won or even the Triple Crown. When I asked Miggy what stood out when he looked back over the last 12 years of his career, it all came down to one thing: winning.
World Series, we won that year. I mean, here in Detroit, we got 4 straight playoffs, but we can get it done. I mean, it's what we want to win World Series here in Detroit, and we're gonna stop. We're gonna look forward for that and try to keep work hard and trying to get better and trying to be a champion for Detroit.
And when I asked Miggy to reflect on his big league debut, the first thing that came to his mind was, wow, he'd come from another country, he'd made it to the big leagues, and now every time he steps in the batter's box, guys, we have an opportunity to say, wow, because this guy could do something special every night.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It really has been fascinating to watch Miguel Cabrera become the best player and the best hitter in all of baseball. When we come back, we'll take a short break. On the other side, we'll go back to the Coliseum Studios, talk about another big-time Tiger. That is Victor Martinez. Justin White and Simo back in the Coliseum Studios. They'll talk about Victor next. the ballpark. The Tigers and Yanks getting set for Game 2 in this 3-game series. Here are the field conditions as presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. Only 68 degrees right now. We mentioned it's kind of drizzly, so the humidity is up, and there is a chance of rain later in the evening tonight. Hopefully it'll stay away long enough for us to get this Game 2 in. Now, in tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every Tigers home run in this game raises $12,500 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. There's Miguel Cabrera. He'll be in the starting lineup tonight, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Tigers got to get the bats going. They've got Ghost, Kinsler, and Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Victor Martinez DHing again tonight. It's been a big June for Yoenis Cespedes. J.D. Martinez in right field. McCann, Romine, and Iglesias rounded out for the Tigers. Well, MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on Nathan Eovaldi.
Eovaldi has a power arm. As a matter of fact, his fastball will get all the way up to 99 miles an hour, average heater 96. But it's very important for him to mix in off-speed pitches and throw those off-speed pitches for strikes if he's going to have success. He really has struggled in the very first inning this year. He has given up 15 first-inning runs, 4 home runs in the first. Let's take a look at the New York Yankees starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. 15 errors this season at third base, committed by Chase Headley, which is the most in the majors for a third baseman.
Here is Chase Headley trying to tighten up the defense, and we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage of him perhaps tonight. They've got to do something to get it going here tonight, as Nathan Eovaldi was rocked in his last start, and talked about the amount of runs he's allowed in the first inning, 15, so maybe that means a big first inning tonight for the Tigers.
And there are a lot of New York Yankees personnel that felt like Eovaldi tried to do too much 4 days ago against his former team, the Miami Marlins. He threw 36 pitches, gave up 8 runs, and he did not make it out of the first inning.
So he comes back on short rest, and here is the start that he made, 2/3. Shortest outing of his career, 9 hits, 8 runs.
And that's the main reason why he's going up against the Tigers here on 3 days rest, and the fact that he's had success against the Tigers in the past. He's already beaten them once this year.
So we're ready for baseball tonight. Here is the first pitch of tonight's ball game. A swing and a miss by Anthony Gose.
Anthony Gose has to be looking for a first pitch fastball, so for him to swing at a breaking ball there is a little uncommon.
Gose batting .283. He has hit 1 home run and knocked in 11 this year. Gose had a hit in the ball game last night, ending up 1 for 4. And Eovaldi sails a fastball outside, and the count now 1 ball and 1 strike.
As Gose goes and Rajay Davis, when they're at the top of that batting order for Detroit, the entire office just seems to perk up, and it works a lot more efficiently.
There's a bender that drops in for a strike, and Gose behind in the count.
Already 2 of the first 3 pitches thrown by Eovaldi, breaking balls, and that's the one thing Larry Rothschild wanted him to do early in this game. Larry Rothschild is the pitching coach of the Yankees.
Here's the 1-2. Line foul, back out of play. Eovaldi is 25 years old. He hails from Houston, Texas. Only 36 pitches in that loss in his last time out there before coming back on short rest.
He grew up in Alvin, Texas, and went to the same high school as Nolan Ryan.
Here's the 1-2. And he missed it high as Gose is able to lay off there. 2-2.
What is it about Texas? It just seems like there's been a lot of really good power arms come out of Texas over the years.
Clemens,
Beckett, Kerry Wood.
Here's the 2-2. And it's low with 3 balls, 2 strikes on Gose.
95. The fastball velocity, average fastball velocity this year for Eovaldi. Second only to Matt Harvey.
3-2 is whistled foul, back out of play. I mentioned a little bit of a light drizzle has been falling most of the evening here. They had the Yankees old timer game before tonight's contest here. All the old Yankees coming back, and they played it in a drizzle, and that rain is still falling. It's not much right now. There are the retired numbers. There's a bouncer to second base. Routine play there for Drew. Ghost is out, one gone.
Stephen Drew, a shortstop by trade and a really good shortstop, but these days playing second base, and he's pretty much handled his own over there. He's not a bad defender at second.
We'll bring up a pretty good second baseman in his own right, Ian Kinsler. Ian last night was 1 out of 4. In fact, he had a 2-base hit, which came in the very first inning. Kinsler, with 1 home run, he's driven in 26, but he's not had good numbers this year against the Yankees. Only 3 for 20. And he looks at a strike.
And a pretty good slider there by Eovaldi, thrown at 85 miles an hour.
Eovaldi ready with the 0-1. And that is low. 1 ball and 1 strike on Kinsler.
Eovaldi's been in the big leagues for a number of years now, but still really hasn't mastered when he does get into trouble, not to throw fastballs exclusively. He's working on a fork ball as well.
Here's the 1-1. Checked it. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's been a bit of a streaky season for Kinsler, who came out of the chute swinging the bat really well, even though he was not hitting for power. But then he went through that 0 for 22 stretch. He is ahead here, 2-1. That's chopped foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Somehow, some way, Tigers trying to get the bats going in their last 2 games, just hitting at a 182 clip. That one game they played in Cincinnati and the opener here last night. 2-2 on Ian Kinsler. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. 2 up, 2 down. First strikeout of the night for Eovaldi.
96 with a fastball. He's got a fork ball that we talked about that's dancing all over the place. As a matter of fact, that was the fork ball right there.
So here is Cabrera. Miggy right now is leading the American League in OPS, batting .345. There aren't too many stretches where Cabrera struggles. That is for certain. Ball 1 to Miguel.
Miggy did not drive in a run yesterday, and it snapped a 6-game RBI streak.
Cabrera also leads the league in hitting with that .345 mark, and in his last 7, he is hitting at a .500 clip. Eovaldi goes 2-0 against him. So while Miguel did not drive in a run last night, he did extend his hitting streak to 7 consecutive games. They play him to pull on the infield, giving up most to the right side. And the 2-0. Ground ball left side, right to the shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Miggy is out. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Eovaldi. Here come the Yanks in the bottom of the first. starting things off in their lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Gardner, Headley, and Alex Rodriguez in the top 3 spots, followed by Mark Teixeira at first base. Brian McCann is catching. Carlos Beltran is in right. You got Gregorius Grew and Chris Young getting the start in center field tonight for the Yanks. And the Mr. Simon is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Alfredo looking for win number 8 this year against 3 losses, a 2.58 ERA. He's been outstanding this year. Fastball, 2-seamer, about 94. He'll also cut the fastball, slider, curve, and a split finger fastball in the 5 pitches that Alfredo Simon will feature here this evening.
Well, the Tigers had a tough time getting Brett Gardner out last night. He was 4 out of 5. In his last 2 games, even better, 6 for 10.
Yeah, he had to take a back seat to what Alex Rodriguez was able to accomplish last night, getting hit number 3,000. Otherwise, it would have been Gardner's night.
So Simon goes to work. Gardner steps in from the left side. And he looks at a strike, 0-1.
Gardner also showed you all phases of his game. He hit a home run. He bunted for a hit. Got a great jump on a wild pitch thrown by Justin Verlander and scored with a head-first slide.
1 ball, 1 strike on Gardner. He sits safely in his last 3. He is 6th all-time on the Yankees stolen base list. He's approaching 200. 197 is his total. Way high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Simon has made 3 starts in the month of June. He has a 2.33 ERA in those starts. In fact, the month of June has been awfully good to him in his entire career. Gardner couldn't hold up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's tough to get a read on the cut fastball when Simon throws it at about 93 miles an hour. You see it right down the middle, and take a look at the last couple of feet. And the ball just inches its way off the plate. Gardner could not hold up.
He'll send one on the ground foul down the first base line. 2-2, the count stays on their leadoff man, Gardner. Headley and Alex Rodriguez will follow. Yankees, with their victory last night, now find themselves 7 over the 500 mark at 37-30. Tigers just 1 game over.
Tigers are 5-16 in this ballpark. In the last 21 games, they have not won many games here against the Yankees.
Fought that one off.
And the Tigers have come in here with some really good teams, obviously with really good pitching staffs, but just can't get it done here.
Well, Brad Ausmus tonight hoping the offense comes alive. That's drilled toward right center field and hit well. That ball's going to go up against the wall. Gardner has extra bases. He's thinking 3. Here's the relay. Kinsler will hold it up, and it's a triple for Brett Gardner. Man, is he hot right now.
Most left-handers like the ball down, but Gardner able to get up on top of a hanging split-fingered fastball, whistled into the right center field gap, and once he leaves the batter's box, he's thinking triple, and because he has tremendous speed.
5 hits in the first 2 games in the series now for Gardner. An easy 3-bagger with his feet. And an early scoring chance now for the Yankees as Chase Headley stands in to try and drive this run in. Headley last night was 1 for 5, scored a run. Fouled off. 0-1.
Tigers pretty much open up the entire left side of the infield with Headley standing in the batter's box. Iglesias, the shortstop, almost directly behind second base.
Headley has hit safely in his last 3. Yankees scored first last night, and the home run by Alex Rodriguez in the first inning, his 3,000th hit. And then put the game away late. A-Rod waiting on deck right now.
There's no team in the major leagues that have scored more first inning runs than the Yankees. They have scored 63 in first inning runs, which is the most in the majors.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Headley. And we're talking about the Tigers' struggles in this ballpark, and that is true during the regular season. But in the postseason here at the new Yankee Stadium, Tigers have won 7 of 9. And they've had really good postseason results the last 3 times they have faced the Yankees. They've beaten them all 3 series. Verlander didn't have the type of night he wanted last night. Here's the 1-2, and it's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Simon, for his career, a .273 earned run average in the month of June. He has started this one by giving up a triple to Gardner, and now he's gone 2-2 on Headley. Fouled away. You talk about Tigers starting pitching, you talk about Simon, perhaps along with David Price being the most consistent of starters. Now Sanchez has started to pitch a little bit better of late.
Yes, he has.
And that's a great sign, but really from the beginning to right now, Simon has been awfully good. And so is that guy, David Price. ERA of 2.5, 6-2 record. Headley finally goes down, snap throw to third, but Gardner will get back. 1 gone.
Here is the 1-800 call Sam call of the game.
The pitcher-batter matchup, courtesy of the Bernstein advantage, belongs to Alfredo Simon. Alex Rodriguez is 0 for 7 against him with a couple of strikeouts. And right now he's just trying to drive in a run. The infield will come in for the Tigers.
You've got to pitch Alex Rodriguez aggressively inside with good, hard 2-seam fastballs. You want to tie him up. You do not want to allow him to extend his arms. And that's exactly where they're going.
Swing and a miss.
Nice action on that 95-mile-per-hour 2-seam fastball thrown by Alfredo Simon. Tremendous life on that pitch. And we talked about Simon at the top of the show today and gave you an example of how that 2-seam fastball moves all over the strike zone for him when he's right.
Ground ball, diving stop at third. Romine coming home, and it's going to bounce away to the backstop. The run will score. A-Rod headed to second. Here's the throw, and he is safe at second base. And the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Brett Gardner is fearless on the base pass. This ball was hit rather sharp to Romine, but he's coming on contact. Romine had to leave his feet, and then when he threw the ball, it appeared that he hit Gardner right in the helmet. And because he hit him in the helmet, Alex Rodriguez ends up in scoring position, and Romine's going to get a tough air.
Fielder's choice, E5 on the play. Romine appeared to have a play at home plate, but the throw drilled him in the back of the helmet.
And make that 64 runs now scored for the Yankees in the very first inning.
Meanwhile, they get A-Rod in a scoring position for Mark Teixeira. He's done a good job this year of driving in runs, 49 RBIs. Teixeira last night drove one in, finished 1 for 4. So the Yankees, as they did last night, score first again here tonight. Simon's 1-0. 2-0 on Mark Teixeira. 32 extra base hits this year for Teixeira, and you see how they play him defensively around to the right side of the infield. And right now, Teixeira in a good hitter's count, 2-0. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, you've got to keep the ball down against Teixeira. He's been a really good hitter this year. Good split-fingered fastball there thrown by Simon. When he releases the ball out in front and gets outstanding arm speed, he gets some really nice tumbling action and when the ball gets in the hitting zone.
Teixeira cuts and misses again. Throw back down to second base. A-Rod diving back in there as McCann came up throwing. Check this out. Simon got his glove on that ball.
Surprised Simon did not recognize that McCann was throwing that ball down to second. Usually the catcher does not fire the ball back to the pitcher that aggressively.
Yeah, nor does he leap out of his crouch either, just to throw it back. Tigers got a bit of a break there. That could have been a much worse situation. Here's the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Teixeira.
And James McCann back in there tonight after having a couple of nights off. He didn't play last night. And, of course, the Tigers are rained out in that final game in Cincinnati. So he's had a couple of days to recharge his batteries. He's been doing the bulk of the catching since Avila's been out.
Ryan McCann waiting on deck. Three balls, 2 strikes on Teixeira. 1 run in for the Yankees. We're in the first. Swing and a miss. Teixeira is down on strikes. It's a big one there for Alfredo.
Yeah, another one of those split-fingered fastballs thrown by Alfredo. No one in baseball uses the splitter more than Alfredo Simon. I was talking to Jeff Jones before the game today, and he said the splitter is a really good pitch for him, but he loves his two-seamer. Here's the percentage of usage on the Alfredo Simon split-fingered fastball this year. And Jake Odorizzi, he uses his 31% of the time.
So here's Brian McCann. Ball 1 to McCann, who gets the start behind the plate tonight. Had the day off yesterday. McCann has knocked in 20 in his last 22 games. And because of that, his RBI total pretty healthy right now at 41 this year. Trying to pick up Alex Rodriguez at second. Two and 0.
One of the things that McCann has done a better job of this year, and that's why the batting average is up, he's gone to left field quite a bit this year. And whereas last year when they played this shift on him that the Tigers have on him, he tried to hit through the shift all season long, and he just did not have a good year in his first year in Yankee pinstripes.
McCann signed a 5-year deal prior to last season. Coming over from the Atlanta Braves. He is from Georgia, so was playing with his hometown team, but now wearing the pinstripes. In his career, 208 home runs. Pretty solid batting average, too, at 272. Simon now has dug a hole. He's down 3-0. There's a strike on the outer edge, 3-1. Should McCann reach, Carlos Beltran waiting on deck. Alex Rodriguez has been standing at second base after reaching on the fielder's choice and the throwing error. That allowed the Yankees to get the game's first run. 3-1 is in there. Make it 3-2 now in McCann. Simon down with the 3-2. And he lost him, ball 4.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense as presented by Beaumont Health System. Right to left, J.D. Martinez, Anthony Ghosh, Yoenis Cespedes, Romine, Iglesias, Kinsler, Miggy in the infield, McCann behind the dish. 35 double plays turned this season for Iggy. 5th among American League shortstops, and man, was he flashing some leather last night. He made 4 really good plays on the defensive end.
Both shortstops awfully good last night. Gregorius as well for the Yankees. Here is Carlos Beltran. 2 on, 2 out. Yankees have a run, still in the bottom of the first. Beltran checks his swing and fouls it back. Veteran outfielder is batting .246 this year with 5 homers. Did not have a hit in last night's ball game, but did walk.
With the base open, McCann has decent numbers against Alfredo Simon. And therefore, he didn't mind walking him with 2 outs to go after Beltran, who's batting .200 in his career against Alfredo. With 2 homers, a little bit of damage.
Little dart low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Simon now is about to throw his 30th pitch of this first inning. It's been lengthy. And it all started with a triple by Brett Gardner. Time now as Simon was about to deliver it. McCann's going to walk out to the mound. These two have clearly not been on the same page, so they'll talk about it now. Leave nothing a chance here with 2 runners aboard, and Yankees looking for a big start here tonight. Here's the 1-1. So Simon now has already reached 30 in the inning. And has really slowed it down. Has been working extremely slowly here in the first inning. Very methodical. The early triple set the tone. Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Beltran.
Alfredo Simon has thrown a lot of off-speed pitches here in the very first inning.
A-Rod at second, McCann at first. Here's the 2-2. Grounded foul, first base side. Now, once again, McCann is called out to the mound by Alfredo. Leadoff triple by Gardner. He has scored the run. He's had a huge series, 5 hits already. Tigers have not been able to get him out. Simon started his Tigers career with 4 straight victories this season. And again, consistency wise, has been right at the top of the list for the Tiger staff. Now it's full 3-2, which means the Yankees will start the runners here with 2 outs. Waiting on deck is Didi Gregorius, number 7 hitter. Simon steps off. Not exactly, Rod, the type of pace you want early in a ball game.
And Simon really has been good all season long at getting the baseball and throwing the ball home and not being as deliberate as he has been here in the very first inning.
Runners go, and it's lofted in the shallow left, but Cespedes will get there for the out. And the damage held to a minimum. They get a run, triple by Gardner. He comes around to score 1-0 Yanks.
Mario, prior to the game, we asked Brad Ausmus to reflect on Miggy, this being the anniversary of his big league debut, and he said the first thing out of his mouth, I remember he didn't hit us very well when I was with the Astros. I went and checked the numbers out, and from 03 to 08, when Ausmus was with the Astros, Miggy had a 188 average with just 12 RBI and 4 home runs in 96 at-bats against Brad Ausmus's Houston Astros. So he was right. Didn't hit him very well against the Astros, but he tore up everybody else he faced, including hopefully the Yankees here tonight. Back up to you.
All right, Trev, thanks. Yeah, he continues to tear up the major leagues. And it's going to be Victor Martinez here in the second facing Nathan Eovaldi. Yankees have a 1-0 lead in this game. Victor had a single in his first at-bat back yesterday.
Brad was encouraged by what he saw out of Victor Martinez last night. He saw some bat speed and did not see him limping as he was limping before he went on the disabled list.
Victor pops it up left side of the infield. That'll be the first out of the inning.
It will be a while before Victor really gets his timing, though. It's just like Justin Verlander, who pitched his second game of the year last year. And both guys basically going through spring training right now.
So with one out, here is Yoenis Cespedes. Scored a run last night, doubled as well. He was 1 for 4. And Cespedes now has hit safely in 11 of 12. Eovaldi is retired the first 4 he has faced here in the second. Cespedes among the league leaders in a couple of different categories. He is 5th right now in multiple hit games with 25 this season. He's had a bunch of doubles as well. There's a ball up and in, 2-0. Here are the double leaders. Brian Dozier has 22. Brantley has 21. And then Yoenis along with Kipnis with 20. A lot of doubles being hit in the Central Division apparently. High and away, 3 balls, no strikes. Eovaldi in that start that he made his last time out, we gave you the numbers, they were ugly, but at one point had given up 7 consecutive hits. And lasting just 2/3. There's a strike call, 3-1.
I watched a little bit of that start yesterday, and the first 3 hits that he gave up in that inning were pretty much seeing-eye singles, but the last 4 that he gave up, those balls were hit rather hard.
Another strike. Cespedes was headed to first base and called back by Mike Estabrook.
And Brian McCann already today has called for a lot of breaking balls, and Eovaldi not shaking him off.
He yanked that one right back into the strike zone. Here's the 3-2. When you look at Eovaldi, Rod, and you look at the velocity he has on his fastball and the break he has on his breaking pitches, I mean, you can see the talent is there. The ability is there.
No doubt. And he should win more games with the stuff that he has. He is having his best year this year as a big league pitcher. I'm sure that Brian McCann has something to do with that. But with his skill set, the power arm, fastball gets up to 99 with a couple of usable breaking balls, he should be a much bigger winner.
It's a base hit for Cespedes, just out of the reach of Gregorius. 1 on and 1 out. Hey, by the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and the 10-piece McNuggets. It'll bring up J.D. Martinez, who was also 1 for 4 last night.
Tigers could do nothing last night with the Yankees starter, Adam Warren. His fastball was 94 miles an hour with good movement, threw some good breaking balls, some good changeups. And Tigers really off balance all night long.
Warren at 1 point last night. He retired 11 straight. The Tigers got him for 2 runs in the second, but did not score the rest of the game. Second pretty good start for Warren against the Tigers this year.
And career high 110 pitches. Career high 7 strikeouts as well. And if you weren't with us last night, well, this is what you missed regarding Warren. Ghost got off in the very first inning, and then he was picked off. Miggy struck out in the first, and he was just dealing fastballs up, breaking balls off the plate, bearing that changeup down, front door breaking balls as well. He pitched a really good game against Detroit.
J.D. hammers one deep to left field. That ball is caught midway on the warning track in front of the wall. Cespedes has to hurry back to first.
That ball was absolutely scorched.
It just died into the glove.
Too much top spin. Didn't catch it just right. Sometimes when you hit the ball that hard on the screws, you get a lot of top spin, and that's exactly what he got. But when it left his bat, I thought it had a chance.
You're not the only one. I thought for sure that ball was gone. But it settled in the glove of Young, and there are 2 gone. J.D., the frustrating part of baseball, hit it right on the screws and get nothing. Here's James McCann now with 2 outs. And McCann looks at a strike. Tigers get a 1-out single from Cespedes. He's still standing at first. The first base runner against Eovaldi. That's in there for a strike, and now quickly 0-2 as McCann has a little chat with Mike Estabrook.
Something else that Eovaldi does very well, he holds runners very well. It's very difficult to steal, and when he's on the mound.
That's why McCann was beefing right there. That ball looked inside.
No stolen bases this year against Eovaldi.
I read a stat where he hadn't given up one in a year.
Really?
I think that was in their game notes. So it is really hard to steal against this guy.
You know, I was looking at a lot of the Yankees numbers as far as their pitchers are concerned and how many stolen bases they yield.
they do a pretty nice job under their pitching coach, Larry Rothschild, at getting the ball to the catcher and giving the catcher time to throw. But most of their guys are anywhere from 1-1 to 1-2.
McCann, couple of homers this year, and boy, were they memorable ones. The first one was an inside the Parker, and the second one was a walk-off homer. He's knocked in 13. Now the 1-2. And there have been several memorable things for McCann early on already in his career. We talked about the home runs, but I love throwing out Billy Hamilton. I mean, there aren't too many guys walking around that have done that.
It appears that that's going to be a major part of his game as he evolves as a good major league catcher. His ability to catch and throw, call a game.
Outside, and the count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. Romine waiting on deck. Nick Castellanos getting the night off tonight. Castellanos has been going through it offensively.
Brad has tried everything to get Castellanos going. He's given him several days off. They continue to work long and hard as far as in the batting cage with Wally Joyner, David Newhand.
Swing and a miss. McCann is out. Eovaldi has his second strikeout of the game. Tigers get a hit, but strand a man. The Yankees, you're not likely to get your favorite number because it's probably already up on the wall. And look at all these retired numbers the Yankees have had. Of course, they had their old-timers game earlier today. Willie Randolph was given his plaque out in Monument Park. So was Mel Stottlemyre, and all the old Yankee greats were here. Whitey Ford, Cecil Fielder was even here.
Easy, easy, easy.
Cess took an at bat and whiffed.
He's still swinging and missing. True power hitter.
Yeah, but he hit a few out in his day,
Yeah,
though.
he did, man.
Still swinging and missing. Simon goes back to work.
How you strike out in the old-timers game?
Because you're an old-timer yourself.
He was trying to hit it out. That's what happened. Ken Griffey Sr. was here. Jesse Barfield was here. It was a great speech by Willie Randolph as well.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Driven deep into right field. Off the bat of Gregorius and gone. He is homered on back-to-back nights.
He only has 4 this year. JD Martinez in right field is going to get a crook in his neck watching all those balls fly over his head the last 2 nights.
Yeah, no doubt. Here's another one.
It's a 2-seam fastball that in the nitro zone of Didi Gregorius. He's starting to get a whole lot more comfortable swinging that bat. He got off to a miserable start offensively. He was batting 9th earlier in the year when we saw them, and he has picked it up lately.
Yankees now lead 2-0. There's a strike called on Stephen Drew. A-Rod, Gregorius, and Gardner last night, and Didi goes deep again in this one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a strike called. 0-2 now on Drew. Homer number 4, RBI 15 for Gregorius. Early deficit now for Simon, who gave up a run in the first. Drew checked it, and they will appeal. Did not go, says Ed Hickox. Good call. Drew last night 2 out of 4. Batting just 176. And we'll get back out of play.
Joe Girardi has loaded his lineup tonight with left-handed bats. And Simon absolutely dominates right-handers. Right-handers hit only 190 against him. Left-handers 254. And therefore 7 of the 9 bats are swinging left-handed tonight against Alfredo.
In shallow right field. Kinsler going back. Can't hold on. He almost made a spectacular running catch out there in short right field. JD Martinez had no chance. Kinsler just couldn't quite hold on. There goes a base hit.
Ian's got great range. He ran a long way to get there. He was calling for it, but the ball right off the heel of the glove.
Third hit of the game now for the Yanks. A man on, nobody out. There's Chris Young. Had to come on in the ball game midway through last night because of the injury to their center fielder Mason Williams, who started the game. Up and in, straightens him up. 1-0 on Chris Young. 7 homers this year for Young. He did double in the ball game last night.
First ever meeting between Simon and Chris Young.
High fly ball. Shallow center field for Ghosts. First out of the inning. Here's Brett Gardner. Well, Gardner right now is just in one of those stretches. He is 5 for 6 in the series. He's got his average up to 280. Gardner, a bit of a source of pride for the Yankees. He is a homegrown talent. He was drafted by the Yankees. They got him out of the College of Charleston. And has worked his way up to becoming a really solid and productive major league player. Ball 1 low. Drill down the right field line. It's going to get down and go to the wall. Drew is on his way to third. They're going to stop him there, and Gardner has another hit. It's a double to go with his triple. It's like he knows what's coming.
Yeah, he's already had a double and a triple here tonight.
He's going to bring Jeff Jones out now. He'll have a chat with Simon. So Gardner now in the series is 6 for 7. The Yankees have their 4th hit of the game, and now a chat with the pitching coach. Right away, the Tigers getting some early activity in this game as Brad Ausmus gets Blaine Hardy warming up in the Tigers bullpen.
Tigers have 3 left-handers in their bullpen, and this might be one of those nights where they use quite a few of those left-handers if Simon gets knocked out of this game early. And it forced Joe Girardi into making some adjustments with his lineup.
So here is Chase Headley, who struck out with the man at 3rd in the 1st inning, and now he's batting with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Ball 1 high to Headley. The Yankees have won 10 of their last 11 here at home. Overall this year they are 19 and 11 in this ballpark. And playing with some confidence right now on their home field. Two and 0. Here you go. In the last 11 home games, here are the ranks. They're 10 and 1, and they're scoring almost 7 runs a game here at home in that stretch. They're looking to add to those totals tonight. Already 2 runs on 4 hits. Two and 1 on Headley. Alex Rodriguez will be next. Now the 2-1. 3 and 1 on Chase Headley.
Yeah, Yankees very patient here tonight against Simon. They are making him throw strikes. They are not swinging at many of those split-fingered fastballs that look like strikes. That fade out of the strike zone. They're also laying off the elevated fastball that he's been featuring.
Simon threw 34 pitches in the 1st. And that is his 50th of the night right now. It's a strike call. Full count 3 and 2 on Headley. Headley's going to discard the shin guard that he had on. Drew is at 3rd. Gardner is at 2nd. And the 3-2. Pulled foul. He was out in front. Headley, a former San Diego Padre, was signed to a 4-year deal by the Yankees. They got him last year in July, and apparently they liked what they saw.
He played well for them the second half of the year.
Right now he has knocked in 24. Batting average only .250 coming in. And again, Simon will step off. There really has been very little rhythm tonight between Simon and his catcher McCann, who once again will go right back out to the mound. 3-2 with A-Rod waiting on deck. The last thing that Brad wants to do right now is go into his bullpen this early. Simon already has had 51 pitches. And still in trouble here in the second. And there's a walk. Going to load the bases. Second walk of the ball game for Alfredo Simon.
Last night, the first pitch that Alex Rodriguez saw from Justin Verlander, he hit it over the right field wall for hit number 3,000.
Well, Boggs and Jeter, the other two that hit their 3,000th with a homer. Derek Jeter did it against David Price.
Larry Rothschild is the pitching coach now of the New York Yankees, and he has seen all three of those home runs live. When Wade Boggs hit his, Larry Rothschild was managing the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time.
A-Rod grounds it foul, 0-1.
And of course the last two Larry has seen last night, Alex, a couple of years ago, Derek Jeter.
Boggs only played a couple of years with Tampa, the last 2 years of his career.
Yeah, it was tail end.
They actually put his number out on the wall, didn't they? Out right field, they retired his number.
I think
they did.
One of the things that I think happened, and I'm not sure if he did go into the Hall of Fame in a Tampa hat, but that was one of the reasons why they signed him.
Even high in the air to center field. Drew is going to tag up. Who wants it? Man, a near collision between Martinez and Ghost. A run will score. It'll be an RBI for Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, the main thing is the fact that the ball was caught. But they were not going to throw out Stephen Drew. JD Martinez is calling for the ball, but obviously Ghost has the stronger arm. He's calling for it early, but Ghost is not looking at it. And when you have 50,000 people in attendance that are yelling, Ghost can't hear JD Martinez. That's why it's very important as an outfielder to take your eye off of the ball momentarily just to see what the other outfielder's doing.
So A-Rod gets his 36th RBI, and that'll make it 3-0 Yankees. And here is Mark Teixeira. Teixeira struck out in his first at bat.
Now, you remember that, don't you, with Wade Boggs?
I do.
I mean, the reason why he signed with Tampa is he basically told them if he got into the Hall of Fame that he would go in as a Tampa Bay Ray, but I think Major League Baseball stepped in and told him he couldn't do that.
Right, and this despite the fact that he spent 11 years with the Red Sox and 5 here in New York.
Right.
There's a strike call.
Wade Boggs was here today and playing in the old timers game.
Boggs, of course, had a connection with Tampa. Went to high school in Tampa, grew up there.
And then after that happened with Wade Boggs, now Major League Baseball basically tells you which hat you're going to wear when you go into the Hall of Fame.
Inside, 2-1 on Mark Teixeira.
And that could go either way, but he hasn't been all that efficient with his strike throwing today. Therefore, very difficult for Mike Estabrook to give Simon that call.
So Alfredo now is closing in on 60. And he has not gotten through the second yet. Three and one.
This is the fifth 3-ball count already tonight for Simon.
It's Kevin Rand right there on the phone.
Well, Brad's on that top step. Looks like he may have seen enough here if he loses to Sheriff.
Brian McCann waiting on deck. And he will indeed lose him. Ball 4. Third walk for the big pasta. Here comes Brad. That'll be it. I believe. No, wait a minute. He's coming out to talk to the umpire here. Hold on.
Yeah, McCann and the home plate umpire beefing a little bit.
So Brad's not coming out to make a change. McCann was beefing in his last at bat as well. Well, I mean, but you're right, Ron. I mean, that's the second time we've seen that. But if you're not consistent, or if you haven't come out throwing strikes, you're probably not going to get that pitch.
Nope.
That's two of them in that at bat that were close.
And I think James McCann may have told Mike Estabrook those are strikes, and they got into a little bit of a confrontation. Not much, but Brad went out there to make sure that James did not get kicked out of this game.
Well, they are reloaded now. Here's Brian McCann, and he takes ball one.
Yeah, dangerous count now. 1-0. You know that McCann has one thing on his mind, that's looking for something inside that he can turn on.
McCann had a base on balls in the first. And even 60 now thrown by Alfredo Simon. Ball two. That one in the dirt. McCann had to go down to block it. Here's the ratio, and as you can see, not really good tonight for Alfredo Simon.
And Tigers infielders starting to get a little restless. Outfielders getting a little restless. He has not been throwing the ball over the plate.
Gardner, Headley, Teixeira. They have him loaded with 2 outs. Drilled foul. Oh, nice catch.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. That's pretty good.
He got off that sunflower seed bucket in a hurry. Long swing by Brian McCann, nails James McCann on the front of the helmet.
This is the 8th man to bat in the inning. Simon teetering on the brink right now. He's allowed 3 runs. They have him loaded with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. 95 there from Alfredo. 2 balls, 2 strikes on McCann.
Yeah, you may as well go back with another one of those hard 2-seam fastballs. Maybe throw this one a little higher. Same velocity. See if you can get the same result.
So Simon now about to throw his 30th pitch of this inning. And once again, he's calling McCann out. Well, we've seen this a ton already tonight. Two and 2 on Brian McCann. Rolled foul. He'll stay alive. The inning started with a home run by Gregorius, then a single by Drew, a double by Gardner, and a walk to Headley. That loaded the bases. Sac fly by Alex Rodriguez made it 3-0. Simon 34 in the first and now 30 here in the second. Tigers will be leaning on their bullpen tonight. Bouncing ball right side. Cabrera has it. Simon covers, and that'll end the inning. So they will settle for 2, leave them loaded. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Monday, our coverage of the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup continues as Alex Morgan, Abby Wambach, and Megan Rapinoe and the Team USA continue their quest for a third title as they take on Colombia. It's a winner-go-home matchup for both teams. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, and catch the whole tournament streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
A lot going on Fox these days. U.S. Open.
Yeah.
FIFA as well.
Here is the third baseman, Andrew Romine, getting his first at bat. Ball one missing outside to Romine. Iglesias and then goes to follow. Tigers have only one hit so far in this game, a single by Cespedes. That was back in the second. Eovaldi brings home the 1-0 pitch, and it's a strike called. 1-1 on Romine. Andrew appearing in his 43rd game of the year. He swings and misses 1-2.
Yeah, good fastball with some late run to it, thrown by Eovaldi at 96 miles an hour. Throwing hard has never been his issue, but he just tries to overpower you all the time. But McCann, the catcher, started out by throwing a lot of breaking balls early. Now he's calling for that heater.
The last one in 96 missed up.
He can get all the way up to 99.
Here's the 2-2. It's grounded foul. Eovaldi seems to be one of those guys that has the type of stuff where an organization might think, if we just get him in our system with our pitching coach, we can get this kid to be a consistent winner.
I'm sure there's quite a few pitching coaches out there that would love to have a guy that's this big and strong and physical.
Still only 25 years old, was acquired from the Marlins with Garrett Jones. Ball high, and the count goes 3-2.
He probably was rushed into the big leagues too, and therefore he's still learning how to pitch at this level, learning how to get big league hitters out and consistently.
Slice toward left field. They had him played nicely though, as Young goes back to make the play. One gone.
Now that's called pitching to your defense. They had Romine shaded around and toward left field, and he continued to pump him fastball after fastball. He believed that Andrew could not get around on it, and he hit right into the teeth of the defense.
Here's Iglesias. 0 for 3 in last night's ball game for Jose. In there for strike one. Wasn't able to contribute with the bat last night, but Iglesias, as he has done most of the season, turning sparkling defense. In fact, he is third among shortstops in the American League in fielding percentage. Only Asdrubal Cabrera and Xander Bogaerts have been better. 2-1. He'll get back out of play.
He made 4 really nice plays in last night's game. The first 2, he went to his left. He turned and threw strikes to Miguel, which he does with regularity. He has uncanny ability not to look at the target and still make a play. Short hop created by him, but he's able to pick it. And then one backhand. So he showed you everything last night. The one constant, his feet continue to move. For you infielders and middle infielders, that's the key to being a good infielder.
Drew will throw him out, 2 away. Well, the Tigers as a whole have been very good defensively. In fact, the Tigers lead the league in fielding percentage at .988. And they committed just 31 errors all year, or did coming in. They have one on a tough error charge to Romine tonight. Here's Anthony Gose with 2 outs. Gose a big reason why they've been improved defensively on its center field. Anthony looks at ball one. Ghost getting a chance really to play every day from day one in a regular major league season. Not an opportunity he had with the Blue Jays, but he's gotten it here in Detroit, and he's responded. He'll slice that one to short, but it's caught by Gregorius, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Tigers go in order, still 3-0 Yankees. Tonight, and we remind you to join us again tomorrow. The Tigers wrapping up this series with the Yankees. Our coverage begins at 12 noon with Tigers Live. Tigers Yanks tomorrow at 12. It's right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
It should be a good pitching matchup tomorrow. Sanchez and Tanaka.
Tigers then will head to Cleveland to continue this three-city tour. Here's Carlos Beltran, did not bat. In fact, the only man that did not bat in the second. Simon back out there, 65 pitches into this game. First one fouled, back out of play. Beltran is 0 for 1. He flied out to left in his first at bat. One of the old timers that was here today in the old timers game for the Yanks was Bernie Williams, a great center fielder who played here so many years, and that really was the idol growing up for Carlos Beltran. They are both natives of Puerto Rico. Here's the number 51, Bernie Williams.
Bernie was a really solid player, but never really got his due because he was always playing with guys like Jeter, Clemens. They always had other superstars that kind of overshadowed him, but he was really consistent in center field. Switch hitter with power, good defender.
Yeah, he was really a member of a lot of those stacked Yankees teams. Here's the 2-1. And in fact, because Bernie Williams was a switch hitter, that's why Carlos Beltran at a young age began switch hitting, just to be like the guy that he really idolized in the big leagues.
And they both are from Puerto Rico.
And there's another one hit deep to right center. Are you kidding me? There's another ball, and this one is long gone beyond the bullpen in right field. Carlos Beltran has hit number 6.
Yeah, that's a real homer. That's out of any ballpark in the world.
Well, 2 more homers tonight for the Yanks. They now lead 4-0.
Another pitch up in the zone at 93 miles an hour that didn't get to where McCann wanted it, and Carlos Beltran put a real good swing on it.
I would say so. That'll be the 5th hit of the game for the Yankees.
All 5 of the hits surrendered by Alfredo Simon here tonight have come off left-handed bats.
Yanks now lead 4-0. Gregorius has the home run. He hit that in his last at bat in the second. Here are the switch hitters in the homer list. Beltran right now right behind his teammate Mark Teixeira. Mickey Mantle leads the way. Speaking of former Yankee greats. Here goes Gose on the run, stretching out in left center field. A spectacular diving play. And that ball was headed to the gap. Simon got some help there.
When you play center field, you know what the pitches are. You can see where the catcher sets up, and because of that, you can get outstanding jumps. And Gose does all of the above and makes another really nice catch.
Otherwise, Gregorius had another extra base hit. Here's Stephen Drew.
Anthony Gose does not mind leaving his feet in the outfield. We've seen him do that several times already this year.
In contrast, really, to the guy that used to play center field for the Tigers, Austin Jackson.
No, Jackson didn't leave his feet, but Jackson ran down everything. He was a tremendous defender, too.
Ball low, 2 balls, no strikes. Would you say, since you've been here in Detroit, that Jackson might be the best defensive center fielder we've had?
I think so. Gose is a really good defender because of his speed, and he gets good jumps, but Jackson was tremendous in center field. I think his last couple of years, he may have lost a step.
Iglesias with a quick play to throw out Drew.
But by and large, Austin Jackson was awfully fun to watch in center field. He was a true center fielder.
So with 2 outs, that'll bring him Chris Young. Young hit one to center field in his first at bat. .228 average, has power though, 7 home runs. Four runs, 5 hits for the Yankees. Tigers, no runs on 1 hit. The only Detroit hit tonight was a Cespedes single back in the second off Eovaldi. Here's the 0-1.
Chris Young started the year last year playing for the New York Mets. And they let him go. The Yankees picked him up, and all he has done is hit. And since New York has picked him up. The Yankees, that is.
That'll get by the third baseman, Romine into left.
Another bullet.
2-out single. Game break time. Here's Johnny Kane. All right, Johnny, thanks. We were watching that game up here in the booth, and I think both of us, Rod, were just stunned at how that thing turned out.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to get that perfect game until with 2 outs he hit that particular batter. But Max was he was dirty today. And he was vintage Maxwell, 97, 98 in the 9th inning. I think he only needed 101 pitches, 102 pitches to throw the no-hitter.
Here's Brett Gardner. It's popped up foul. To the seats it goes.
I think we were all in agreement that Max had the stuff to someday throw a no-hitter.
Well, he came within 1 pitch of the perfect game, but Tabata stuck his elbow down on a ball low and in and made contact with it. Was hit by the pitch. That got rid of the perfect game, but the no-hitter was still intact.
Chris Hexton, he threw a no-hitter earlier this year, but I believe he walked quite a few in his game.
289th no-hitter in Major League history. Congratulations to Max Scherzer. Gardner waits on the 0-1. That'll back him out of there. Simon now has had an even 80 pitches in this game. Here's the 1-1. It'll find the seats the other way. 1-2 on Brett Gardner. Double, triple tonight. 6 hits in the series. Jacoby Ellsbury's been out of their lineup with a knee problem. They need Gardner to continue to swing the bat like he is. He's playing out in center field tonight, which is the position that he told Joe Girardi he prefers to play, but Mason Williams was playing out there, the rookie, and Girardi wanted the rookie to be in a spot where he was more comfortable. But then Williams got hurt last night, and so Gardner is out in center tonight, just the way he likes it. Runner goes on 1-2, and it's sliced to center field. Going to get down, base hit. Young is on his way to third. He is in there, and nobody, and I mean nobody, can get Brett Gardner out.
He is a home run away from the cycle here tonight, Brett Gardner, and we're in the 3rd inning.
He is 7 for 8 in the series.
That last ball almost bounced over the head of Anthony Gose. It was hit so hard off the bat of Brett Gardner.
Single, double, triple tonight for Gardner. The Yankees threatening again. They have runners at the corners. 2 outs, and here comes Jeff Jones again. Down in the workout room today, and Jeff Jones is walking on the treadmill. Apparently, he did not have to do that today. He just doubled his workout. There is action in the Tigers bullpen, and that would be Ian Kroll warming up. It was Hardy earlier in the game, but Kroll has apparently been given the hurry up sign. So Alfredo Simon now is in another jam here with 2 outs. Here is Chase Headley. 7 hits for the Yankees in this game. Now Headley going to step out as Simon showing no indication he's going to throw a pitch. Alfredo gave up 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 here in the third. Swing and a miss.
This is Simon's 13th start, and James McCann has caught him 9 times, but for whatever reason they just cannot get on the same page here tonight. So he's familiar with Simon.
They'll throw back.
Alfredo only 10 of 20 in first pitch strikes thrown so far here tonight. That's the reason why he's given up 7 hits. And the Yankees have been hitting in positive counts all night.
Now again, McCann running through the signs. They want the fastball in. Rolled foul. Now it's 0-2 on Headley.
It's a good cutter there. And when he goes inside, he cuts the fastball inside to the left-handers. And when he goes away, he sinks it. And just by gripping the baseball differently, Simon can get that ball to move differently once it gets into the hitting zone.
Headley with a walk and a strikeout in this game. He's got Young at third. He's got Gardner at first.
Pace of games this year are down under 3 hours this year because of some of the speed up rules that have been implemented, but Simon not doing those numbers any justice here tonight.
No. I think the time of game through the first month was down 7 minutes.
Yeah, I think the average game now about 256, 257.
The 0-2. Roll to the right side. It's going to get through a base hit. That'll get another run in. Gardner is on his way to third. He's in there standing up, and it's a single and an RBI for Chase Headley.
7 of the 8 hits tonight have come against the left-handers, and really he has struggled against lefties this year.
That's going to be it. Ausmus will have to get his starter out of the game here in the third. He was headed that way anyway with the amount of pitches that Alfredo has thrown. 85, and he'll depart the scene. It's a wall side windows pitching change, and here comes Ian Kroll. Five to nothing lead. It's been one of those nights for Alfredo. The pitch count was up early, threw over 30 in the first 2 innings, and now he'll give way to Ian Kroll.
And 2 2/3 innings pitched tonight by Alfredo Simon, his second shortest outing of his career as a starter.
So Kroll now is in charge of getting the final out here in the third. 2 more runs in for the Yankees. He'll face Alex Rodriguez with runners at the corners.
And be careful here if you decide to throw Alex a first pitch fastball. That's one of the things that he's been doing a lot of this year. He has been swinging early and often, just as he did in the first last night, to connect against Justin Verlander.
A-Rod steps away from strike one.
Change piece there thrown by Kroll to lead off Alex.
Sac fly, knocked in a run back in the second.
It's really remarkable what Alex has been able to do this year. At the beginning of the year, not one expert really gave him an opportunity to come back and perform the way that he has after missing so many games the last 2 years.
Drilled deep to left field, down the line, and gone.
And he's still getting it done.
A laser off the bat of Alex Rodriguez. The Yankees have blown this one wide open.
That ball got out of here so fast it looked like Alex Rodriguez when he was 30 years old. It's a fastball that's right down the middle. Tremendous bat speed by A-Rod, and he homers for the second time in the series.
That thing was a laser.
It's amazing. He's 39 years old, man. He'll be 40 in a month. He'll be 40 years old in a month, and he is still displaying that kind of bat speed.
14th of the season for A-Rod is 8-0 Yankees. Here's Teixeira. Bouncing ball left side. Romine has it. And that'll end the inning. But it's a big inning for the Yanks. They put up a 5 spot. They go to the 4th. fourth inning. Are you sure A-Rod's almost 40?
101. It was a hit speed on this fastball that was thrown by Kroll that was right down the middle that A-Rod turned on. It got out in 4 seconds.
And just like that, the Tiger deficit now is 8. And now Ian Kinsler will start things off. 2, 3, and 4 for the Tigers. It'll be Kinsler, Cabrera, and then Victor Martinez. Nathan Eovaldi is the recipient of all the offense here tonight. He has surrendered just 1 hit so far. A Cespedes single. First one is in there for a strike on Kinsler. Only 2 2/3 tonight for Alfredo Simon. 8 hits, 7 of those were his. 7 of the 8.
Well, Eovaldi is enjoying something here that he gets a lot of anyway. He gets a lot of run support. He gets nearly 7 runs a game. Only 3 other pitchers in the American League get more run support than Nathan does.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, man. Kinsler, that was way out of the strike zone.
That was over his head.
No kidding. Here is our T-Mobile game changer tonight. Well, we mentioned at the top of the show that it was Miguel Cabrera's anniversary of breaking into the big leagues. And in his first 1,885 games, we wanted to stack him up in some of the key categories against some of the best.
All Hall of Famers. Aaron, Robinson, Mays, Mantle. Griffey's going to get in. Miggy's going to get in.
Pujols will get in.
Yep.
Let's see if Teixeira can get there. Almost. What a try there by Mark Teixeira.
This is fascinating, these numbers that Miguel Cabrera has put up since making his debut in 2003. I mean, 321 with the average is right up there, close to the top. RBIs, second only to Pujols.
And he's got a few years left in his career.
And we bring this up, and it's a fact. Imagine Miguel if he was able to play in a friendlier park to hit in.
He'd hit 50 a year.
He started his career in Miami, now in Detroit, and he jumped on the scene with a flare. Walk-off home run for his first big fly of his major league career. And it went to center field. Imagine that. Josh Beckett with the shaving cream. Man, is that shaving cream evolved these days. How about what the Nationals are doing these days? You've been watching that?
Yeah, that's out of control. There's a bouncer to short. Gregorius will handle it. And Miggy is out.
That hat, the Hall of Fame, is probably going to be calling for that Max War today, but how are they going to get it with all that chocolate on there?
If you didn't see it, as they were doing the post-game interview, Scherzer were just doused with chocolate syrup. And yeah,
they do that to everybody when they have like a walk-off, an exciting win, and there's an interview at the end of the game. It was last year Kansas City had with the barbecue sauce.
Yep.
They're pouring all over everybody.
Here is Victor Martinez. Victor popped up in his first at bat. Tigers tonight have been out hit 9-1 and outscored 8-0 as you look at the shift that they have on against Martinez. Victor hit it the other way his first time up, but he popped it up to Headley at third. That one is going to slice away from Young down the left field line. Good foul. Well, Thursday, June 25th, the Tigers host the White Sox at 108, and the first 10,000 fans receive a free Victor Martinez bobblehead. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or check it out online, tigers.com. Oh, and 2. Again, back the other way and out of play.
97 with that fastball thrown by Eovaldi. That's the best fastball he's thrown so far tonight.
Eovaldi last year established career highs in starts, innings pitched, and strikeouts. He's trying to match his career high in wins with a victory tonight. 1-2. Tigers will see Tanaka tomorrow in the series finale. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short, but picked up by the third baseman. That's Headley who throws him out. It'll be a 5-3 ground out. Tigers go 1-2-3. Major League Baseball returns as Matt Carpenter and the National League Central leading Cardinals take on Giancarlo Stanton and the Marlins. It's a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. It's also streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So Ian Kroll goes back to the mound now, and he will face Brian McCann, who leads it off in the fourth. And a cool, misty, drizzly evening here in the Bronx. It is 8-0 in favor of the Yankees. Kroll starts him off with a fastball up and in. Did he go? Negative, says Ed Hickox. McCann, Beltran, Gregorius. It's in there for a strike. Big Pasta knocked out in the third tonight. Kroll came on, gave up the 3-run homer to A-Rod, but then he got to share it a bounce out. 1-1 is a bender that misses low and away. 2-1. Swing and a miss. McCann walking and ground out. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. One out.
Here's our Nissan drive of the game. In the third inning, a fastball that was up in the strike zone about 93. The switch hitting Carlos Beltran connected, hit it about 425 feet from home plate.
It was the 6th of the year for Beltran. Here's the 0-1. Beltran hits that one deep to right. That ball's going to the track, to the wall. It's gone. It's a 2-homer night for Beltran. That's 4 home runs tonight for the Yankees.
We talked about Yankee Stadium when he got here yesterday. The fact that that porch is 314 away from home plate. They've been using it to their advantage. The Tigers, they really haven't. The Tigers haven't gotten him under anything, and they have not hit many home runs in the series. He just flicked that ball over the wall.
37 multi-homer games for Carlos Beltran in his career. Both of them tonight solo shots. He has 380 homers lifetime now. I think Gregorius looked like he was trying to hit his second of the game. Homer in the second, and Ghost stretched out to rob him of a hit in the third.
And Yankees hitters have been awfully comfortable the last couple of nights swinging the bat against the Tigers. May not be all bad to make a few of these guys move their feet by going inside, down and in.
Swing and a miss. Gregorius with 4 home runs. Homered in last night's game off Justin Verlander. Check swing, line drive, base hit to left. Everything going right for the Yankees tonight. One on, one out. It's the 11th hit of the night now for the Yankees. They've out-hit the Tigers 11-1. They've scored in every inning so far. Stephen Drew will step in. Drew takes one inside, 1-0. McCann has worn a path out to the pitcher's mound tonight. Made quite a few visits with Simon out there. You can see that mist in the background here. It's been one of those nights, kind of soggy.
I don't know what happened on this last pitch, but McCann jumped up and went out there. Fastball that got away. And you can see Kroll kind of moving that shoulder around a little bit, but it looks like he's okay.
2 balls, 1 strike on Stephen Drew. Single ground out tonight for Drew. Bouncing ball slowly to the left side. Romine shoveling to second, not in time. Just wasn't hit hard enough.
And the overshift there kind of cost the Tigers an out, but for the most part, when they do overshift, they usually get the hitter to hit the ball where they are playing defensively. Just didn't work out this time, and this is the only play that Romine had. He was not going to get Drew at first base. Good hustle by Gregorius.
Infield single means 12 hits now for the Yankees. 2 on, 1 out. Here's Chris Young.
Brett Gardner, their leadoff hitter, is about to bat for the 4th time
in 4
innings.
Yeah.
And he's a homer away from the cycle.
Unless we get a double play here, it's going to happen. Ball 1 high. Single fly out for Young. Check swing, and it's over the head of the shortstop at Glacier.
Boy, oh boy.
This will score another run. Unbelievable. Young gets a check swing single to drive one in. 10-0. Nope. Even Young shaking his head. Here comes Jeff Jones. It's been a while since we've seen something like this. They've hit 4 home runs in this game. Now Jonesy out to talk with Kroll. A little bit of stirring going on in the Tigers bullpen right now. So here is Gardner, the last Yankee to hit for the cycle. There you have it. Melky Cabrera in August of 2009. And Gardner needs the homer for the cycle tonight with that short porch. He's gotten the tough one out of the way, and that's the triple. Gardner 3 for 3. 7 for 8 in the series. Swing and a miss. Tom Gorzolani warming up. 10 runs on 13 Yankees hits tonight. Gardner sends a ground ball to second. Kinsler flips to Iglesias. 1, and there's a double play. That'll end the inning. A couple of more runs, though, for the Yankees, and they now lead 10-0. At the lowest tire price period, Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Big Apple's not been kind to the Tigers tonight. You are reading that correctly. 10-0 as we go to the 5th inning.
And we were talking about this earlier today. The Tigers that just have not played all that well in this ballpark the last number of years. And the Yankees have owned the Tigers when they've come to New York.
Here is Yoenis Cespedes to lead it off as we go to the 5th inning. Cespedes, J.D. Martinez, James McCann facing Nathan Eovaldi. The only hit that Eovaldi has allowed tonight was to Cespedes, a single in the second. Ball 1 inside.
Kansas City Royals, they were trailing in their game to the Boston Red Sox, but they've come back to take the lead over Boston in the 5th. And they're beating Boston 6-4. Minnesota has lost their game today against the Chicago Cubs.
Kendrys Morales is homer to that game to help the Royals come back from a deficit. There's the 1-1 to Cespedes. Fly ball center field. That's going to chase Gardner back to the wall. Leaps and he makes the catch.
Gardner's doing everything.
Even when the Tigers put a good pass on a ball, it ends up in one of the gloves of the outfielders.
He is more comfortable in center field than he is in left field. And he has a pretty good beat on this ball in right center field. He gets to the wall and jumps and takes a double away from Yoenis Cespedes. And that's our high strength steal. And Gardner stealing that double from Cespedes.
Here's J.D. Martinez.
Chevrolet high strength steal, that is. 98.
Whoa. Look at that miss.
Just enough to annoy you as a hitter.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing that's really hard, but it's just in your eyes. And bill of the helmet. Bat gets wet.
Guarantee you the Yankees, they're not feeling it right now, though they've got a 10-run lead.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on JD. What's this, Tropical Storm Bill? Is that what they named this latest one?
That's what's coming through here?
Yeah, apparently. The 1-2. High fly ball to center field, chasing Gardner back again. He's going to the track in front of the wall to make the catch.
And Yoenis and J.D. Martinez need to pick different parts of the ballpark. That is the second time tonight that J.D. Martinez has absolutely murdered a baseball only to find it land into the outfielder's glove very softly.
So here's McCann. He struck out in the second. In the shallow right center, and a sliding try, but Beltran will play it on one hop. Only the second Tigers hit of the night. 2-out single for McCann. That'll bring up Romine. If you're going to name a storm Bill, that's pretty much mailing it in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
I mean, you got to do better than that.
That's a pretty simple name.
You got a big storm rolling in. Just call it Bill. It's late. I want to go home. Here's Romine. Is it Bob or Bill?
Bob's just like Bill.
That's for the next one. No balls, one strike. Romine flat out his first at bat in place of Nick Castellanos tonight. Costi getting the night off. Eovaldi has not pitched from the stretch all that often tonight. And he throws one inside, 1-1.
Started out the game throwing a lot of off-speed pitches, lots of sliders, lots of fork balls. Last couple of innings, a heavy dose of fastballs. In the upper 90s, 97, 98. And here's our high-speed pitch, and it's brought to you by Xfinity on Nathan Eovaldi. 98, he's been up there several times. And he's gone as low as 75 with that fork ball.
Romine takes low. Now the count goes to 3-1.
Only one other pitcher in the major leagues averages a harder fastball this year than Eovaldi. And it's not by much. It's the Dark Knight, Matt Harvey.
3-1. Ground ball slowly right side. Teixeira will tag him out. No runs and a hit, one left. Tigers baseball from Yankee Stadium tonight, presented by Bell Tire. score as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Tigers have made a wall-side windows pitching change. It'll be Tom Gorzelani.
Yeah, Gorzelani pitching in his 25th ball game this year. He's pitched a total of 20 innings. The ERA's elevated. It's over 6. And for Gorzelani, who continues to try to put it together.
So it's been Simon, it's been Kroll, and now Gorzelani will get his chance to pitch as the mist/fog/rain continues to fall here. And it's going to be Chase Headley to start things off. It's enough to get some umbrellas out. While others really, they're not bothered by it. So here is Headley. Tigers have made some defensive changes as well that we'll get to in a moment. Gorzelani goes to work. And it's in for a strike. Headley in the ballgame, a single to drive in a run. He is 1 for 2. He also has a walk. Swing and a miss. Awkward swing there. Here's what we have in terms of the defensive changes for the Tigers. Brad now getting some of his regulars off their feet. Rajay Davis takes over in the left. Castellanos now at third. Wilson is at second. Romine will move to first.
And basically a whole new infield with the exception of Iglesias.
Into left, base hit.
And they're just still hitting.
Second hit of the night for Headley. Here is Alex Rodriguez. Some of the updated numbers now for Alex Rodriguez. In Major League history, there have only been 5 guys with 500 homers and 3,000 hits.
Special company. Very special company.
And it gets even more special when you consider if you pare it down to 600 homers and 3,000 hits. Only Mays and Aaron and A-Rod are on that list. A-Rod steps away from ball 1.
I saw A-Rod when he was 19 years old. He was playing in the Midwest League. It was 1993. He was playing for the Appleton Timber Rattlers. And at that time, even at age 19, he was the best player in the league. Everything came easy to him. And I believe he went to the big leagues that same year. Went to AAA for a spell and ended up in Seattle as a 19-year-old.
And right now, the longest tenured Yankee. All these years later, of course, he's had quite a few stops. He hammered a 3-run homer in his last at bat. He has 4 RBIs tonight. And you were talking earlier about how all the pundits before the season started felt that he would not really give them a whole lot because he had missed all of last year, suspended by Major League Baseball.
He had to earn everything in spring training. He wasn't even given a position on the team.
And now you look at him, he's got 40 RBIs this year.
He's batting third. And if he hadn't dug a hole so deep, and had he not rubbed so many people the wrong way, including a lot of the players in baseball, Alex would be getting some serious consideration for making an all-star team.
14 homers now with his 40 RBIs.
There have not been many designated hitters in the American League that have been much better than Alex this year.
2-2, the count stays on A-Rod. We're in the 5th. Mark Teixeira waiting on deck. Ground ball left side, another hit. They are finding every single hole in this game tonight as A-Rod pulls in with his second hit of the game.
And they're very comfortable. They've been very comfortable for the last couple of nights. They've got 15 hits tonight. They had 13 hits last night.
Brett Gardner will still have a shot to go for the cycle. He has a single, double, and a triple in this game.
Gardner's got himself a big old bag of sunflower seeds.
Here is Teixeira. That's low. 1-0 on Teixeira. He does not have a hit in this game. Strikeout, a ground out, and a walk. A little bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Simon's start of the game was bounced in the third after an RBI hit by Headley. Kroll came on, gave up a 3-run homer to A-Rod, and Gorsalani here in the 5th. Tigers have been out hit 15-2 in the ball game tonight. 3-0. He lost him on 4 straight. He's going to load him up for the Yankees. Now McCann out to the mound to chat with Gorsalani as Brian McCann stands in. This one is threatening to get a little bit uglier than it already is. McCann, strikeout, ground out, walk. Ball 1. Yankees tonight have hit 4 home runs, 3 of them solo shots. Gregorius, Beltran twice, and A-Rod a 3-run homer. Back up the middle, that's going to get into center field. A single to drive in one more. RBI for McCann. They will stop A-Rod at third. And it's 11-0. Brad Austin doesn't know how to stop the bleeding here. Back to the bullpen go the Tigers in terms of getting the phone up and getting somebody warming up. Every Yankee has a hit tonight except for Teixeira, and he's walked twice. Yankees now have 16 hits, which ties a season high. Alex Wilson starting to warm up. One ball, one strike to Beltran. going to be an RBI. The tough play for Beltran. Of course, Alani is just really scuffling now. He's given up 2 hits, a walk, another hit, and now a hit batter.
Well, Gorzelani was trying to get Beltran to move his feet by pitching inside, but Beltran could not get out of the way.
Will be the 3rd RBI of the night for Carlos Beltran. $12-0 Yankees. And again out to the mound is Jeff Jones.
14 is the most runs that the Yankees have scored this year. They have 12 now.
And it's going to be long before Wilson comes in this game. There's still nobody out. The 16 hits ties a season high for the Yankees. And we are only in the 5th inning. Gregorius 2 hits, including a homer. And could have 3 if it were not for a diving catch by Ghost in center. Ooh, look out. Down he goes. That ball came up and in.
It's a breaking ball. No intent. And there by Gorzelani.
Now Gorzelani with the 1-0. 2-0. Gregorius now with 4 homers, 15 RBIs. Part of that 3-team deal that brought Shane Green to the Tigers. Gregorius to the Yankees. And Robbie Ray went to the Diamondbacks. Little pop-up foul back out of play. 2-1. Gregorius taking over a position this year manned by Derek Jeter. There are the 3 Yankees runners. Teixeira, McCann, Beltran, who was just hit by a pitch. Ground ball right side. Fielder there by Wilson. He'll get the out. The run will score. It's an RBI for Gregorius. His 2nd of the ball game. It's 13-0. That's the first out of the inning. That almost hit Drew. 1 ball, no strikes.
I don't know if that breaking ball is slipping out of Gorzelani's hands because of the mist that's continued to fall here all night long or what. But every breaking ball, for the most part, he has thrown appears to slip out of his hand.
Here's the 1-0. Sail outside. 2 balls, no strikes. $13 runs on 16 hits tonight for the Yankees. And they continue to have at least 1 run in every inning. We got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 5 in the third, 2 more in the fourth, and now 3 here in the 5th. And Gorzelani has gone to 3-0 on Stephen Drew.
Between Alfredo Simon, Ian Kroll, and now Tom Gorzelani, there has been 10 3-ball counts here tonight. 10 of them. And we are just in the 5th inning.
Three and two. Well, we got started with a triple in this game by Gardner back in the first. He eventually scored on a throwing error by Romine, and that was kind of a forecast of things to come. They got a couple more runs in the second, and they just have not stopped scoring. 4 home runs tonight for the Yankees. Here's the 3-2. Fouled straight back. Mentioning the Tigers did not have a whole lot of offense going in that game in Cincinnati. Last night they scored 2 early runs, nothing after that. Tonight, Brad Ausmus has watched his team put up just 2 hits so far. Now Gorzolani with the 3-2. Fly ball in the air, shallow left, a shortstop back. That is Iglesias. That'll be the second out of the inning. And it brings up the 8th man to bat in the frame, the number 9 hitter, Chris Young. He's had a big night. 2 hits, RBI, run scored. High fly ball right field. Under it is Martinez. And that will end the inning. 3 more in for the Yankees. 5 in the books here in the Bronx. All New York tonight. Celebrate the 4th of July holiday with the Tigers special ticket and t-shirt package for all games from June 30th through July 5th. They're available exclusively at Tigers.com/stars and stripes. Take advantage of that back at Comerica Park. And Jose Iglesias will begin things here for the Tigers. Iglesias, Ghost, and then Wilson. $13-0 Yankees have the lead. They've out-hit the Tigers 16-2, and the first one is grounded foul off the bat of Iglesias. Got a new first baseman now. Garrett Jones will take over for Mark Teixeira. Iglesias bounced out his only time up. Eovaldi has given up just 2 singles in this game. 1 to Cespedes, 1 to McCann. The 0-1 is chopped back up the middle. Here comes Gregorius, barehanded play in time. They called him out. Brad's going to want to look at this.
It's the only way that Gregorius can make this play barehanded with Iglesias running down the line. He barehands it, flips it over, and looks like they may have gotten Iggy by half a step.
I think so. Iglesias wanted the base hit, but was not given the call. And he appeared to be just out. So the Tigers will not challenge it. Again, the shortstops in this series, both of them, Gregorius and Iglesias, have been lights out. Here's Anthony Gose. Ball 1 to Gose. A couple of groundouts in this game for Anthony.
Eovaldi only lasted 36 pitches in his last outing against his former team, the Miami Marlins. Gave up 8 runs in that game, much different than Nathan Eovaldi here tonight.
That's in for a strike 1-1.
Most of his fastballs have been in the mid-90s. He's topped out at 98.
Eovaldi last year was receiving very little run support, under 3 runs per game last year, but this season has been much different, and certainly tonight has been much different. 13 runs. Here's the 2-1. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hey, let's check in with Trevor Thompson, who has a little bit more on tomorrow night's starter, Anibal Sanchez.
Well, Mario, had a chance to talk with Anibal before we left Cincinnati about pitching here at Yankee Stadium. He says he has no fear of the short porch in right field. He doesn't mind pitching in New York. He says anywhere he's throwing a ball, he's comfortable and happy to do what he can to help the team win. And if anybody on the staff has the stuff to shut this Yankees team down, it's Anibal, and hopefully we'll look to him to do this tomorrow, going on 5 days rest, which really didn't seem to work out well for Alfredo Simon today.
Well, Sanchez career on 5 days rest, a 3.44 ERA, and a 25-18 record, and Sanchez hopefully will work his magic tomorrow. And his bounce to second base. Thanks, Trev. And his Ghost is retired.
Mario had a chance to talk with Jeff Jones before the game about Simon going on an extra day's rest. He thought it would benefit him. He said this is the time of year that starters actually look for an extra day of rest, and he thought it would play in his favor. Didn't seem to turn out that way. You mentioned in the first inning he had troubles getting out of that inning, pitching kind of slow, couldn't get the momentum going for himself. Hopefully that won't be the case for Anibal when he goes tomorrow.
And he and James McCann talking about Alfredo Simon, they really just couldn't get on the same page here tonight.
Here is Castellanos getting his first at bat of the game, and he looks at a ball.
And walked by the video room today, and Castellanos was in there watching quite a bit of video of his swing, trying to figure out exactly what's gone wrong.
Eovaldi now brings it back home, and it's grounded foul.
Yeah, the one thing about Castellanos, there has never been a level, there has never been an age where he hasn't hit. And so for him to be struggling the way that he is struggling now, this is really the first time that he has ever struggled in his life.
You know, Rod, when you look at guys like Castellanos and you see a swing that he has that is tailored to hitting the ball the opposite way, it seems like guys like that are kind of immune to going in those long slumps. The 0-1 is a strike.
He seems to be uppercutting now. You watch that last take and you watch the front shoulder. I know Eovaldi's throwing hard, but right now Castellanos' first motion with his upper body is to take that front shoulder and to pull off the baseball, instead of keeping it locked and loaded, staying inside the ball and driving it to right center field, and like he does most of the time.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes, and Eovaldi, with all the offensive support tonight, is doing the rest. It's 13-0 Yankees. in New York. Hey, follow the Tigers all season long with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, StatCast, radio broadcast, live look-ins, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or your tablet. Alex Wilson will take over now for the Tigers.
And Wilson has done nice work out of the Tigers bullpen this year. The ERA is under 2. And pitching in his 22nd game, logging 34 innings. A lot of those innings in long relief for Alex Wilson since coming up from Toledo.
So here is Brett Gardner to start things off. Gardner is still looking for the cycle here. Has a single, double, and a triple. And he pops this one up. Foul ground, third base side for Castellanos. 1 out. So Gardner is 0 for 2 in his quest for the cycle after getting hits in his first 3 at-bats. Wilson has been used quite a bit for the Tigers this year after starting the season in the minor leagues. April 22nd is when he was recalled. High fly ball to left field. Rajay Davis going back. Warning track to make the catch. And there are 2 gone. Let's check in for a game break now. Johnny Kane. All right, Johnny, thanks. If those 2 scores hold up, the one there and the one here, the Royals would be 6.5 up on the Tigers. A-Rod looks at ball 1. Big night for A-Rod. 3-run homer. He's had a couple of hits and 4 RBIs. One ball, 1 strike. Wilson trying to make this the first inning in which the Yankees do not score. 2-1 the count. Series concludes tomorrow here with a day game. Sanchez and Tanaka at 1:05. Three and 1. Tigers out of the bullpen in this game. They've gone with Kroll, Gorzelani, and now Wilson. And he lost it, ball 4. Yet another base runner tonight for the Yanks. We got Garrett Jones. He'll get his first at bat. He took over defensively earlier in the game for Mark Teixeira. Strike 1 on Jones. In on his hands, and it's rolled towards second base, and Jones is out. That'll take care of the Yankees. 6 in the books. We'll go to the 7th in New York.
The Tigers here tonight with real good fastballs, 95 to 98 miles an hour. Even when the Tigers have squared up the baseball today, they have hit a few balls hard. They have landed very softly into the defender's gloves. And they are swinging at the breaking balls out of the strike zone. They've chased some fastballs up and out of the zone. 85 pitches so far thrown for Eovaldi. He has not walked a batter. He has struck out 4 and given up 2 hits in the 6 innings pitched.
So Eovaldi goes back to work now, and he will face Rajai Davis, his first at bat of the night. And Rajai looks at a strike. Tigers have gotten most of their veteran starters out of the game. Although Victor remains on deck, he will stay in the game. They've gotten Cabrera out. Kinsler's out of the game. There's a line drive to right, base hit, maybe more. It's going to split the gap and go to the wall. Rajai rounding first and going to second. He's in with a double.
And good swing put on the baseball by Rajai Davis, who really hasn't been playing a whole lot the last week or so. It's a breaking ball that's down at 85 miles an hour, hit over the head of the second baseman, Drew, that gets all the way to the wall. Eovaldi had a start against the Tigers this year at the beginning of the season at Comerica Park. It was on April 21st. He pitched 7 innings in that game and gave up just 1 earned run.
Victor Martinez 0 for 2, pop-up ground out. Tigers have only 3 hits tonight, and that is their first extra base hits. And 2 career starts for Eovaldi against the Tigers.
That other start was at the end of the 2013 season when the Tigers made that trip to Miami and got swept. Jose Alvarez threw a no-hitter against the Tigers on the final day of the year.
Henderson Alvarez.
Henderson Alvarez. What, like a Jose Alvarez?
Jose. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Anytime. Well, here goes the catcher out to the mound now to have a chat with Eovaldi. There's activity in the bullpen for the New York Yankees. The right-hander Mitchell beginning to warm up for the Yanks. The Yankees failed to score in the 6th inning. For the first inning of this entire game, they had scored in the first 5. Leadoff double here by Davis. Martinez now 1 for 6 upon his return from the disabled list. Had a single in his first at bat of the ball game last night. And eventually scored a run. This is how they play him defensively. Three balls, no strikes now on Victor.
And Tigers in jeopardy here tonight of going 6.5 games behind the Kansas City Royals. And the last time the Tigers have been 6.5 games behind, you have to go all the way back to May of 2011. But they went on to win the division that year by 15 games.
And they were up and down on that 2012 season as well. I mean, they were flirting around 500 going through the end of June, and folks were kind of figuring out what's going on with this team, and that one got to the World Series that year.
That's why Brad said a couple of days ago he'd like to see more wins. Let's not get that totally twisted, but he also said that this is not the time to panic. He said that a couple of days ago in Cincinnati.
I remember broadcasting Rod for a team in 1995. The Angels had a 12-game lead toward the end of August and lost that lead. Seattle came back from that large of a deficit that late in the season, so we are still only in June. And he walked him, so Victor will get a base on balls. And the first two-man reach here in the 7th.
And first base on balls of the night for Eovaldi, and that's going to be it.
So 92 pitches in this game, or into this game, Hilda Park. Mitchell, the right-hander, will be coming in. And Eovaldi will get a nice round of applause from the Yankees fans here. Hilda Park will step aside. Pitching change here in New York. We'll be back. Pitcher is Brian Mitchell for the Yankees.
In AAA this year in 13 games, very nice earned run average for Brian Mitchell, 279, 54 strikeouts and 34 walks. So he has a power arm, and he can rack up some strikeouts, but he can also get wild with the 34 free passes.
5 years in the minor leagues, got his first taste of the major leagues last year, appearing in just 3 games, including 1 start for the Yankees. And Josh Wilson will be the first man to face him with 2 on and nobody out. Wilson this year 6 for 14 in the games, 5 of them that he's played with the Tigers. And he sprays that one foul 0-1.
And Josh Wilson is well traveled. He has played with a lot of different big league clubs.
Here's the 0-1 outside. Wilson's dad coached at Duquesne. And of course, Wilson is a former teammate of Miguel Cabrera's in their Miami days, their Marlins days, and now they're teammates again here in Detroit. We used to see Miguel floating around the Tigers locker room when he first came to the Tigers wearing Duquesne baseball t-shirts. Couldn't figure out what the connection was there. And then we learned that Wilson, who was his teammate, became pretty good buddies with Cabrera when they were teammates with the Marlins. He used to hook him up with some Duquesne swag.
That's pretty good marketing if you can get Miggy to put on the Duquesne gear.
Yeah, no doubt. 2-1. Josh Wilson. That'll get fouled down the line, out of play. Action in the Detroit bullpen right now. That would be Mr. Albuquerque. Tigers had to go to the bullpen early tonight. Simon was knocked out of the game in the 3rd. Albuquerque checking his lookout right now. Making sure the jersey hangs nice. Here's the 2-2. Foul back. JD Martinez waiting on deck. This is the first semblance of a scoring opportunity for the Tigers. Leadoff double by Davis and a walk to Martinez. Bouncing ball, third base side. They'll go to second for one. Relay to first. Not in time. That will leave them at first and third with one out.
I think Headley, the third baseman, initially thought about going over to touch third base, and he took a couple of steps in that direction. And then he tried to get the ball to the second baseman by him taking the one step toward third. And by the time he got the ball to Drew, they couldn't turn it over.
So with one gone, here is JD Martinez. Fielder's choice, allowing Wilson to reach. JD looks at a ball.
And JD has hit two balls extremely hard today. Hit one to Chris Young in left field his first time up. It took him all the way to the warning track, and then he took the center fielder and Gardner all the way to the warning track too. Second time up.
You know, the score is what it is. I mean, you can't deny that. But I mean, Cespedes hit one to the wall. JD hit one to the wall, and well, you got a couple of these home runs for the Yankees tonight that, what about 320 or so?
Yeah, just flipped over the wall.
1-1 on Martinez. Ground ball fouled outside the bag at third. The count goes 1-2 on JD. Tigers got a single from Cespedes and a single from McCann prior to the double here by Rajai Davis.
Yeah, speaking of home runs, there's only one team that has hit more home runs than the Yankees this year. The Houston Astros. Houston's hit 99, and the Yankees have hit 88.
Astros holding on to a 2.5 game lead over Texas coming into play tonight in the West. You see where Seattle changed their hitting coach?
They fired Hojo?
They reassigned Hojo. Here's the AL West. And you see the Seattle is 8.5 back. And that's not a spot where many thought they would be.
So they reassigned Howard Johnson, the former Tiger. Who did they name?
Martinez.
Oh, Edgar?
Edgar Martinez. Driven to the gap in right center field. That ball is going to get down and hop over the fence for a ground rule double. Tigers will get a run in, but it's going to cost Martinez an extra RBI.
Third time is a charm for JD Martinez. He has barreled up the ball on all three of his plate appearances here tonight and went down to the bottom of the zone for his 14th double of the year. It's a good fastball at 96. He didn't try to pull it. Simply kept those hands inside the baseball and hit a missile, and it landed on the warning track and bounced into the right field seats.
Second and third, it's a 13-1 ball game. That'll bring up James McCann.
I don't know how much coaching Edgar Martinez has done in the past. There obviously was a really good hitter. I mean, Edgar was an outstanding hitter.
We'll get all the way to the backstop, and will they score a run? They will. Standing up, wild pitch makes it 13-2.
But you wonder just how well a guy will do that really hasn't coached all that much in professional baseball, if at all.
And you always wonder, too, about the guys that had the game come easily to them, whether or not they're able to teach it.
Right.
You know, George Brett was certainly a great hitter, but I'm not sure he enjoyed being the hitting instructor for the Royals.
That was too much work for George.
He had a cushy job, man. It's a whole different story when you're sitting in the press box.
George went down there for a couple months and said, wait a minute.
Way too much work.
I like it upstairs a little bit better.
1-1 strike on McCann. Single strikeout for McCann. They've got Martinez at third base. Back out of play. Tigers were scoreless in 13 straight innings in this series prior to getting the 2 runs here in the 7th. These are their first runs since the 2nd inning of last night, which is still kind of, well, it makes you scratch your head when you look at some of the names in this lineup. Victor back in the lineup these days. You got Kinsler and Cabrera and Cespedes. The 1-2 is a soft line drive and over the head of the second baseman, a base hit. Broke his bat, but it comes up with a single and an RBI for McCann. And it's 13-3.
And that's a breaking ball there that's right off the end of the bat. And McCann strong enough, even though the bat shattered, to muscle the ball over Stephen Drew's head.
So McCann makes it a 13-3 ball game. 5 hits now for the Tigers. Here's Romine. Drive one in the air to left center field. Gardner will go back to make the play. Romine is out, 2 gone. Now Iglesias. Sellout crowd here tonight. 48,092. They had the old timers game here, which is a Yankee tradition, and they came in and filled up the park tonight. Here's Iglesias. A couple of ground ball outs. Ball 1.
They get a whole lot of participation out of the former Yankees. There's a whole lot of them that showed up here today.
Willie Randolph was given a plaque. So was Mel Stottlemyre. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Checked it, and the count goes to 2-0. It was the 69th annual Old Timers Day.
Joe Torre was here.
Here's the 2-0. 3-0. That's in there. 3-1 on Iglesias. Ghost waiting on deck. Inning started with a double by Davis, and it's led to a 3-run frame. Chopper to the shortstop. Gregorius on the run. And he will get Iglesias to end the inning. Tigers get their first 3 runs of the game. Coming up, the McLaren Health Plan 7th inning stretch. A single, double, and a triple, but really up and down their lineup, everybody contributing tonight.
Well, you brought up Brett Gardner. He got it done last night, and he came to the ballpark ready to play again today. He tripled to lead off the bottom half of the first inning for the Yankees. He scored on an infield ground out, and he was able to come home and score. Ball hit him in the head. Next time he doubled, and then he came up in the third inning and singled. And when he wasn't getting it done with the bat, he's getting it done on the defensive end, taking a double away from Yoenis Cespedes. So Brett Gardner has been outstanding in this game, and he is our big money encounter. And brought to you by Menards.
How about 7 for 10 in this series with 3 extra base hits? And again, he had a couple of shots tonight at hitting for the cycle. He may get one more, we'll see. But Gardner has done it all in this series. As a result, the Yankees won last night, and they have a comfortable 10-run lead tonight as Albuquerque takes over for the Tigers.
Albuquerque pitching in his 28th game. He's pitched 28 innings, usually used just 1 inning when he goes out there for Brett Ausmus's 3.21 ERA for Albuquerque. And the slider has been much better in the last couple of months.
McCann leads it off. And Beltran, and then Gregorius. Brian McCann singled in a run in the 5th inning. He is 1 for 3. Also has a walk tonight. So Albuquerque follows Wilson, who followed Gorzalani. Kroll has also pitched tonight. There's an Albuquerque fan. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brian McCann. 13 runs, 16 Yankees hits, 3 runs, 5 Tigers hits. 1-2. Tigers tonight got only 2+ innings out of Alfredo Simon, whose pitch count was up really from the get-go. He threw over 30 in the 1st inning, over 30 more in the 2nd, and then finally was taken out of the game in the 3rd. McCann wanted to reshuffle the signals.
And the 7 runs that Simon gave up here tonight, the most that he has given up in any start this year.
Got him looking. The Albuquerque fans are fired up.
Yeah, they are.
One away here in the 7th. It's going to bring up Carlos Beltran, who's had one of the bigger nights tonight for the Yankees. Couple of home runs, hit by a pitch, 3 RBIs. Was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded back in the 5th.
Good thing they don't charge you by the letters on your back for those jerseys of them young kids, man. They might not be able to afford them.
They got 2 of them, too. Home and a road. 2-0 on Beltran.
Let's go, Al, the one said.
I mean, they're really fired up. Scores 13-3, but their guys in the ballgame. They're having some fun. The 3-0 is ball 4, so he lost to Beltran on 4 straight. Cardinals out for the 4th time tonight. 1-on-1 out for Didi Gregorius. Homer single ground out, which produced a run. The home run was a solo shot. And Albuquerque missing again, 1-0. Miguel came in allowing only 2 runs in his last 19 outings. Nice stop at first base by Romine. Throws to second one. Relay going to be tardy, but man, that was a good play.
It really doesn't matter where you put Andrew Romine. That glove works. He can play all 4 infield positions. Hard shot off the bat of Gregorius. Firm, fair throw to Iglesias. Flip back, but not in time.
Romine started the game at third. Castellanos came on, pushing Romine to first when they took Cabrera out of the game. There's Stephen Drew with 2 outs. Drew a couple of singles and a run scored. In for a strike, 0-2. Swinging a foul tip for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. So Albuquerque with a couple of strikeouts. And the fan club having fun tonight. Albuquerque. A scoreless inning, and his fan club is fired up, man. That little guy on the left, look at him. He's not giving up hope.
You would think those kids would be from Michigan, right?
Well, you would think.
They must not have cell phones.
They're having fun. Here is Anthony Gose. He'll get things started now as we go to the 8th inning, top of the order. Gose, then Castellanos, then Davis. Anthony in the ball game is 0 for 3. He's put the ball on the ground all 3 times. It has been Yankees all night long. They've led from the get-go in this one. And the first one is fouled straight back. 0-1 on Gose. Brian Mitchell came on in the 7th inning, allowed 3 runs. Here are some changes now for the Yankees. Jones goes to right, McCann goes to first, and Murphy is the new catcher.
And Murphy caught in last night's game.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Ghost. Anthony now 1 for 7 in the series. Drilled toward left field, slicing out of play.
Let's take a look at the big boy, big play of the game. Back in the third inning, Gregorius making a bid for a double, possible triple, but there was Anthony Ghost. And leaving his feet, making another spectacular catch. You're robbing Gregorius of his third hit of the evening.
Swing and a miss. That'll be an 0 for 4 night for Ghost. One gone. Now Castellanos gets his second at bat. Nick struck out in the 6th. Fouled away 0-1. Mitchell, 23 years of age. He was a 16th round pick in 2009 of the Yankees. Worked his way up the ladder. Finally got to the big leagues briefly last year. The Yankees are without Andrew Miller, their closer, but so far that has not made a difference in this series. 0-2. High pop up, middle of the infield. Drew back to the grass. 2 gone. Bring up Rajai Davis. Rajai's only at bat, resulting in a double that got things started in the 7th, and the Tigers finally got some runs. Their first runs since the 2nd inning of last night's game. Rajai batting .282 now. .96 from Mitchell.
The Yankees have about 4 or 5 guys in their bullpen that have fastballs that get to 95 and above.
Oh, 0-2. Ball high as Rajai lays off, and again 96. That was out of the strike zone though. He'll throw a wrinkle in one here, and it's sliced to the second baseman for out number 3. Tigers go in order in the 8th. Here come the Yankees in the bottom of the 8th.
have 16 hits. Let's go back to Al Albuquerque's last half inning. It's our 1-800 call Sam call of the game, and we're having some fun with the kids out in the outfield with the Albuquerque jerseys. Gets the ground ball force out, and the kids, they're shaking that jersey up. They're having a lot of fun. And then after strikeout, they really had a lot of fun. So those kids have stuck around and continue to root on their favorite Tiger, Al Albuquerque.
That's what it's all about. Those youngsters, despite the score, supporting their guy. Well, in a lopsided game, as we go now to the Josh Wilson, the infielder, is going to take over now. And he has pitched before, 3 earned runs in 3 career innings. And he'll take over here in the bottom of the 8th against the Yankees.
And from a manager standpoint, you never have to want to go to one of your position players to pitch for you, but that's exactly what this evening calls for.
Chris Young will lead it off against Wilson. And he lays one right in there at 82 miles an hour for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Meanwhile, Romine will move to second base, and the new first baseman is Brian Holiday. Swing and a miss.
A little breaking ball there thrown by Josh.
Nice.
A little slurve. How about this? Uh-oh.
Well, that one is hit deep, and that one's going to land in the seats. It's going to be another home run tonight for the Yankees. Young hits his 8th of the year. It's 5 home runs tonight for the Yanks.
They had 4 last night, didn't they?
Did they? 1, 2. They had 3 last night. 14-3. Well, here is Gardner, who is a home run shy of the cycle. The 5 homers ties a season high for the Yanks. And Gardner looks at ball 1. His first 3 at bats went triple, double, single. He's hit into a double play and popped up the last 2. Melky Cabrera, the last Yankee to hit for the cycle. High fly ball, center field, lazy fly ball. And it's going to be caught by Ghost. Only had 3 cracks at it.
And he tried to hit a home run in all 3 of those at-bats.
We'll bring up Chase Headley. Or he will not. Brendan Ryan is going to hit. And he looks at a ball outside, 1-0. That's in there, a strike call. The Yankees have hit 5 homers 2 other times this season, but it does tie their season high. One and 2 on Ryan. Ooh. Threw it behind him. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ryan shoots one the other way. Nobody at first base. It'll be a base hit for Ryan.
Yeah, Wilson got caught watching the play, but he's not a pitcher.
Here's John Ryan Murphy. Caught in the ball game last night. He takes ball one. That is 18 hits now for the Yankees in this game. 2-0 the count.
18 hits represents a new season high.
Meanwhile, the Royals have won their game. They've defeated Boston 7-4, so the Tigers looking at a 6.5 game deficit in the Central Division. Minnesota did lose tonight, the other team ahead of the Tigers. Here's the 3-0. He is taking. It's a strike, 3-1. Kira Jones on deck. Ground ball to third. Castellanos goes to second one, and the relay is a double play. 5-4-3, 8 in the books now. We'll go to the ninth. The ninth inning.
And let's take a look at Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game in the third inning. A fastball right down the middle thrown by Ian Kroll, and Alex Rodriguez homered, and for the second time of the series. And that one got out in about 4 seconds.
So the Tigers now are 3 outs away from dropping to 500 on the season. And Brian Holiday will lead it off for the Tigers. Holiday hammers one in the air to left field. Ball hit pretty good. Young going back, but he'll make the catch in front of the wall.
It's a lot of room out in left field, and Young, a center fielder by trade, plays very deep and makes every play out there.
One away here in the ninth. Here's Josh Wilson, who is 0 for 1. Yankees scored in every inning tonight except the 6th and 7th. Wilson fouls it away, 0-1. Tigers close out the series here tomorrow. Then it's on to Cleveland for a 3-game set. Sanchez Tanaka tomorrow.
Chicago White Sox finally won a game after losing 8 in a row.
They're getting Chris Sale pitching like he's pitching and still losing game.
Right.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And that is one of your more surprising teams of the year with all the moves the White Sox made the offseason. They added a lot of really good pieces, but the chemistry just not there yet.
Well, how about some of the superlatives on Sale? 12 strikeouts in 5 straight games since 1900. It's only been done by Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, and Chris Sale.
And Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez are going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Sale struck out 14 and lost. We had last night's game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2. Full count now, 3-2 on Wilson. J.D. Martinez on deck. There's a base hit to right field. Wilson goes the other way. 1 out single. Now Martinez. 6 Tigers hits in this game. But they've only, in the first 2 games in this series, they've only scored in 2 separate innings. The second last night and the 3-run 7th here tonight. That'll get back out of play. 0-1 on J.D. Tonight, Martinez RBI double in 3 at-bats. Here's the 0-1.
And it looks like J.D. trying to flip one over that 314 sign in right field with those last 2 swings.
And the 0-2. Another one fouled back out of play. McCann on deck. Soft line drive, base hit, right field, right off the end of the bat. Wilson will go to second and stop there. Second hit of the night for J.D.
Also the second consecutive at bat where J.D. Martinez went to the bottom of the strike zone and was able to get himself a base hit. It's a breaking ball that's off the plate outside, but J.D. reaches out and pokes it over the head of the second baseman.
So J.D. hits 2 balls extremely hard his first 2 at bats and gets nothing. And then he just flips one off the end of the bat over the second baseman's head for a single.
Yep.
Now McCann, who has a couple of hits. That's outside. 1-0 on McCann. Single drove in a run in the 7th. 2 out of 3 tonight for James. High fly ball into right field. Heading back to the wall to make the catch is Garrett Jones. Wilson tags, moves up. 2 outs. It'll be up to Romine now. Tigers down to their final out and about to drop to 34-34 on the season. Back out of play 0-1, which seemed highly unlikely when the Tigers got off to their 11-2 start this year.
Yep.
That first week and a half of the season, the Tigers were rolling.
Clicking on all cylinders. Ghost and Kendra and Miggy. Iglesias.
A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Green and Simon got off to outstanding starts.
Simon won his first 4 in a row as a Tiger. He was roughed up here tonight. Here's the 1-1.
Yeah, Alfredo could not get in sync all night tonight.
So what remains of the sellout crowd coming to its feet now? And the 1-2. Got him strike 3 to finally bring to an end an ugly night for the Tigers. Yankees win the second game of the series 14-3, and we'll be back to Yankee Stadium.